Good afternoon, everyone. Mark Odell, Charlotte County Economic Development Office's Business Retention and Expansion Manager. Thanks for joining us today. This is going to be a great prep webinar for all of us looking to further grow and diversify our businesses and kind of in the government space. So let's talk about and get right to the meat of it here today. So I'll pull up our slide deck and let's sit back, get ready, enjoy, be comfortable, and let's move. All right, so today's topic, everyone, is reverse trade show tips, what to expect, and ways to prepare. And this particular one is in advance of this upcoming one that's next Thursday, which is April 3rd, 2025, from 8 to noon at the Hilton Naples. So let's get into it, explore, and learn so we can present well and move on. Again, I'm Mark Odell. It's my slides. Here's our team. Enough about me. Let's get to our team. That's our fearless director, Kay Tracy, and our glamorous team there, our marketing director next to me, Maria Vastola, Janet Johnson in the middle is our office admin, Christy Sisler, business attraction, and our analyst, Jordan Ray. Fine team if I don't know what they do. So it's a great synergy we got here in Charlotte County Economic Development. So our discussion topics for today, is with first off reverse trade shows. What to expect. If you haven't been to one, let's kind of give you a peek behind the curtain before you go. Two, we're going to review the current participating agencies and hopefully some of the primes as well. We're going to discuss what GIB is, and GIB is Government Industrial Base Readiness. We'll look at assembling a toolkit for you and potential next steps. So what is a reverse trade show, everyone? Well, in a traditional trade show, we've all been to them. We've probably exhibited at them in the past. The sellers are sitting at the booth and people are walking by, whether it's a home show, auto show, you name it, boat show. They're showing and selling their wares and the consumers are there to buy. In this model, in a reverse trade show format, the buyers are the ones actually seated at the tables. These are going to be your governmental or quasi-governmental agencies from throughout Southwest Florida at the tables wanting to meet you in one location. So if we have 25, 35 different agencies varying from, city of Northport all the way to city of Marco Island and everything in between, counties, school districts, port authorities, cities, county agencies. It's a nice one-stop shop to make your life as a business owner much more efficient. So you would be the ones walking around and doing your introductions. But there's a special way to do it, and we're going to talk about that today. So lay of the land for this particular event, and really holds true for most that are like this, and this particular one, next Thursday, 8 to noon, the Naples Hilton. Usual things will be a check-in table, expo room off to the right or so, and off to the left, breakout session rooms, and you quickly get a vibe for the landscape. Baseline process as we go in, as of course you'd imagine, we're going to check in at the registration table. I'd say to get there early. Network while waiting for the program to begin. Don't network by standing against the wall, staring at your phone. There's going to be a lot of people there with branded apparel. Look around the room, see who's wearing what. Meet somebody, say hello, say hi. That's how it all starts, right? Once the program starts, there'll be a welcome by local leaders and it's the leadership of the Gulf Coast Association of Governmental Procurement Officers. Then there'll be some breakout sessions. There'll be a procurement workshop first, and some breakout sessions beyond that. Then the heart of the program itself, the reverse trade show in the Expo Center. Meet with as many agencies as you are able, and I think you're going to be able to hit them all. Pictures speak 1,000 words, so I like to throw them in our little slide deck here to just kind of show you. See, here's a registration table. While we're waiting for things to get going, this is the snacks. I'm sure they'll have them again this year. It's important to note for our Southwest Florida businesses that this particular annual event moves north to south each year. So these are pictures from last year when it was here at the Punta Gorda Harbor Event Center. This year it's at the Naples Hilton, and then they'll reverse directions each year. So these are last year's pictures. Compliments of my friend Juan Delgado from the Collier Airport Authority. Let's see here. And this is next slide. Again, stage welcomed by local leaders, just as we said, and leadership of the organization putting it on. Down below is the audience, which is composed of you, the various businesses. Learning about the flow for the day, the order, the little housekeeping. So here's a picture of a few of the 25, 35, maybe more tables that will be set up by various participating agencies. Here's just a few. It's Lee County Purchasing and Lee County School Districts. Wow, that looks like an intimidating group, huh? The more you meet everyone, the more you realize, hey, government's made up of human beings just like you and I. World gets a little smaller, and as long as you got something of value to present and you present accurately, honestly, and the world gets to be a much smaller place and a much nicer place. So be humble, be sweet. As we're meeting these tables, this is just reminiscent of all the ones that will be there. A few other shots from throughout that particular day, just to give you an idea, a little glimpse behind the curtain, and that's the purpose of this webinar. Current list of participants, this is says subject to change, but this is only a small smattering of them. But what we'll see is most of our city agencies, our county agencies, our airport authorities, our sheriff's departments, school districts, of course, secondary school districts. We got FSW and FGCU there as well. So just to give you an idea. However, this event isn't for everyone. I'm not selling anything here, so it really honestly doesn't matter to me. I'm here to do the right thing for you, the business person. So, but I will be honest and tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear all the time. So this event is not necessarily for everyone. Getting a foothold into the government space of any kind, typically, unless you've got something really extraordinary, they want to see you have been in business for 2 to 3 years or so. You've gotten through the initial humps of business start, and you're on a trajectory to continue growing. I always said when I did this professionally was, hey, government space is a great thing to weave into your existing successful business. And for numerous reasons. We could talk hours on that topic, but just to weave it in. It's not all commercial business, not all government, a nice blend. Think of like stocks and bonds. One's up, the other's down. And that is true. Balances out your cash flow as a business and your business opportunities. But these agencies will expect you, again, to have a couple of years in business, understand business controls, have a plan, even down as far as towards the end here, beyond knowing regulations and requirements, being mindful that, cybersecurity is on the horizon for them as well, and to be understand and be adaptable and able to learn. It's not difficult, just a set of rules to conform to. And also, what's the value you're going to bring to any government agency? What's your key unique identifiers, differentiators? What don't they know about? So keep those things in mind as we go forward. So what's in our toolkit, everyone? Handful of things, at least to get started, and you'll fine tune this. Every business is like a snowflake. No two are alike, right? So let's just put together the basics, and we can always build from there. We got to start somewhere, right? But do a little bit of research in advance. In this case, put in here how to do business with Collier County or other techniques. I'm going to demonstrate one here for you in a little while, but let's just look at these other items in this slide. Business casual attire, have a good elevator pitch ready, business cards. Believe it or not, business cards or can be a sticker, and you would never think that business cards are business cards. Some will make them very flashy and very glossy. If you can't take a normal pen and write on the front of your business card, nobody else can either. A lot of notes are taken on business cards. Sometimes after you leave a table or after a meeting, someone might take a note. Hey, okay, yeah, talk to Mark, and yeah, we talked about these few little fine points as a memory jogger before it gets set down. If they can't write, it's going to get frustrating. So grab one of your business cards, grab a normal ballpoint pen. Does it work? Little things. A capability statement. It's basically a business's resume, more something that would be a requirement for state and federal procurement opportunities not so much for this event, but all know what the capability statement is and what it should look like, and will respect you for it. Again, it would set you apart as it'd be a unique differentiator for you. Branded apparel, name badge. If you got it, wear it. I'll tell you what, this is not only a good opportunity to network and meet with, all these various governmental agencies of all sizes and shapes, but also who else is in the room. I've seen a lot of matchmaking happen, unfold before my eyes. You know, Janitorial companies like, I was just on a job site and we got bugs. Man, I wish I knew a bug guy. Well, guess what? See, that guy's Ricky's wearing a Panda Pest shirt right there. Go talk to him. So just those little things that happen, along the way. And, your next step strategies. Let's take a step back and talk about the first one. A little bit of research up front, or at least get us started, at least get you thinking. So we're going to stop share here, everyone, and we're going to attempt to go live to the internet to test my technical skills here. I think we're going to do it. Let's try it. All right, I think it's working, everyone. So a couple tactics here to utilize. I'm a simple guy. We want to keep things simple. Any search bar, it doesn't matter if it's Google, Bing, or Watson, or whatever's out there. What I like to utilize here might just be what's our target. And in this case, the host organization is in Collier County. So I'm just going to put in Collier County. You can see it already filled because I look at this already. Procurement. We just add the word procurement, which is just the buying office of a municipality. Could be City of Punta Gorda procurement, Florida Gulf Coast University procurement, Charlotte County Sheriff's Office procurement, Lee County School District procurement, you name it. But let's take a look. So here we are. As which should be, it comes right up to the top, procurement services. This is a good opportunity to at least begin exploring. And there are multitudes of agencies, even in our backyard, for you to explore. But in here, a couple of things I want you to take a look at. As we look, we can see what current solicitations are out there, how to contact them, what the policies and procedures are. And here's vendor registration and communications. So it's a good place to start. One thing I can tell you is you have to be registered with each individual entity on their own. So there's no cost to do government work in the government space, anyone. However, it's an investment of time. So just take off a few of these, or one a day, vendor registration. You'll be delightfully pleased at the end of the month how things come along for you. So contractor guide to doing business with Collier County. Let's take a look at that. Excuse me. So these are pretty small documents here overall. So this is probably like 15, 16 pages, I would imagine. Yeah, 16 pages. Contractor guide, little index. But I like to skip down to what is called monetary thresholds. I think I saw it here. Here it is. Mark, what's monetary thresholds mean? Well, quite simply, it's different levels at which a government agency purchases things, okay? So let's take a look at this one, for example. Monetary thresholds, we skip to the bullet points. Purchases up to $3,000 are non-competitive and require one informal quote. So what does that mean, Mark? Well, let's say, here's an example. Say I heard Collier County may want, as part of their employee health and wellness through human resources, they want to buy some water bottles or engraved water bottles or something like that, right? Just using an example because it's sitting right next to me. Okay. You can have that meeting. You can make the pitch and say, hey, Mr. HR director and procurement director, I understand that Collier County, has a threshold for sole source, as is called, or one informal quote, for up to 3,000. Maybe we'll need a larger order down the road, but if we want to get started, we can do this initial batch quantity of these Water bottles that say Collier County on them for 2,500. Well, in that instance, they could create a requisition for you if it's in the budget. Sign it. There you go. You got your first order. Very good. Didn't even have to compete for it, anybody. Did not have to compete. Pretty good way to get a foot in the door and demonstrate some initial success and initial sale, which builds past performance, which also builds credibility. Okay, beyond that, we see in this case, 3,000 to 50,000 requires 3 quotes. Okay, so we get to that point. Maybe they need about 10 grand worth of bottles. You've already got some demonstrated past performance, but we got to put in our quote, which makes you sharpen your pencil. Then the market will take over from there. Beyond 50,000, what you see advertised. That's what's advertised in the world. So a lot of people say, hey, Mark, I went on Collier's website. I looked at their open solicitations. I didn't see anything for me. Well, that's because that's larger dollar stuff. It's usually construction projects or bigger acquisitions. So just something to keep in mind. But however, we can also take a look at, take a step back and look at these. What are those solicitations? Here they are. Current solicitations in OpenGov. That's just a new platform they use. You'll find that most municipalities use different platforms, so it can be a little confusing. They are beginning to utilize similar ones, so stay tuned. So this is what listing of this is what's live today, right now, as of March 27th, as I'm recording this now. Yeah, grounds maintenance, tourism, rental of a Christmas tree. Yep, anything's possible. Government makes nothing. They got to procure everything. So why not from you, I guess, is my point. So that's the quick intro, brief introduction to looking at how to do business with name the entity. Okay. All right, let's go back to our presentation, everybody. All right. Hopefully that was helpful. This out of the way. Okay. Elevator pitches. They want to be able to relate to what their problem is. Maybe sometimes you're solving a problem they didn't realize they had. Introduce your solutions, what makes you special or your differentiator, customize it for you, and develop a call for action. All in about 45 seconds, ideally. Again, it's what they call the elevator pitch. What's going to take you to get, if you're on the elevator, 3 to 4 floors up, make it happen. So in this case, hey, I might say, I could use the water bottle example, and say, hey, I understand that health and wellness, I'm looking for some ideas for some new initiatives out there to help employees be healthy and engaged and stay hydrated. We've got a perfect solution for you. Here's our new solution. Best of all, they're branded with, in this case, Collier County's emblem and logo. We come in multiple sizes and colors, and we're customizing them available for nominal fee. We can laser etch their name into it if we want to. And best of all, we've got this available, on short order supplies for a limited amount of time. So if something we'd like to explore further, we'd be all ears. Just do your best. You're not going to hit a home run every time. No one's going to. And this is a nice, soft event to work and hone on your pitch. But we want to get them talking, get them engaged, just create a dialogue. Again, just like in any sales, in your commercial sales world, we all know, hey, try to get the prospective buyer, if we can get them in a nodding sequence, it's easier to facilitate asking for the sale, right? So have some follow-up questions and some good ones. It's first impression, practice, 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 everybody. Capability statements, we can have a whole nother topic lecture on that at some point. But it's basically your business's resume. Quick Google search, capability statement for janitorial, capability statement for landscaping. Just pick your industry. There'll be a whole bunch of different templates out there, and you'll see the common themes. Unlike a normal marketing piece that you'd use for your consumer customers, when you're doing business to business or business to government, a lot less fluff. It's no time or need for it. It's just what's the facts. So this is kind of the core information in there is what differentiates that. I also recommend using bulleted narratives. It's just something, this is being in the procurement sphere world for decades, what I hear out there. This is what they want to see. This comes right from the horse's mouths. It's okay to say I do management consulting, strategic planning, team development, but give me a couple sentences about it. At least try to woo me a little bit, right? So that's what I state here in the second half of this slide. Just include a sentence of two just to kind of reinforce that bullet point. Whoa, holy cow, what if this actually works and they start checking you out, Mark? Well, yeah, be ready. Digital marketing, they're going to start looking right after you walk away or soon thereafter, and they're going to check you out on your website. If you're registered in a state or federal system, they're going to look at your profiles there, which may include some past performance, or at least how it's completed. Completeness counts, right? They'll look at your LinkedIn or social profiles. Does your profile speak to a government audience, or is it just geared towards, Mr. and Mrs. Consumer? Make sure it's a bit blended so we can speak to business, business to government, whatever you wish for your trajectory. So what might success look like? Success is different for everyone. In this case, we just have an introduction and building awareness is a great place. It's a starting point to a relationship. I can tell you that working in the government space is a marathon, not a sprint. So that's why I say it's a great opportunity to begin weaving into your already successful commercial building to help grow and expand, which is one of my roles here as the business expansion and retention manager, is just to look for these opportunities for our Charlotte-based businesses. Opportunity to advance a relationship. And even if we don't have immediate sales, just knowing you're there as a resource, sometimes makes you the subject matter expert. So if a project does come up, believe me, this is their job. They keep your cards. They keep notes on you. Some project came up about, say, a Parks and Rec project. They needed a new pavilion or something special. Hey, you know what? We had this company we met. Let's just bring them in here and just have an initial talk. We can bring them in as a subject matter expert. That way you offer yourself up as the expert, which can include, hey, I've done numerous projects like this. Here's where I've seen the successes, but here's some pitfalls to avoid. Guess what? You're elevated. Being kind, sweet, and humble will get you far, trust me. But at the same time, we're planting seeds of differentiation, what's making you special. And sometimes that leads into someone handing you a purchasing forecast. Here's what we're thinking on the radar. It also gives you a sense of how they buy what you sell. Again, just be yourself. What you won't hear are any of the following. And I love the third one. Here's a contract, just sign here. It's not going to happen like that. I say that in jest, but enjoy it. But do listen for and pay attention to others in a room or that are ahead of you or talking to an agency. Listen to their pitches. Maybe you refine yours too. Look at signs of research that they've done or citing specific contracts. That's always a good one. When you go in having prepped, really demonstrates respect, and you respect not only them, but yourselves. Say, I'm interested in, I want to cut grass. I want to cut Charlotte County's grass on the median somewhere, right? So I'll do a little dig in, see when the past contracts were, who they were awarded to, what was the dollar value. That's the nice thing about the government space, when it's all public information. So I can go in and say, hey, I see this one's coming to a quote, or is this contract coming to expire, this 3-year one, in about 6 months? Do you think it'll be renewed? And they'll give you their ideas. Most likely it is. And it's a good opportunity to say, hey, any issues with that vendor or anything that disappointed or they did well or you didn't like as well? They usually be pretty candid with you and tell you. That way you can work on developing your way into that business as well. Who talked more? Was it the buyer? Was it you? Just things to listen to and pay attention for. So I always put this out to the procurers themselves. I'm like, hey, what annoys you, or what's a pet peeve when someone comes into your office? What drives you nuts? The resounding, overwhelming of probably about 8 or 10 of them I polled was asking questions that you could have easily researched yourself. Again, no time for small talk or fluff. Let's get right to business. Quick intros. Don't ask simple questions like, how do I do business with the county, or what are the monetary thresholds or procurement thresholds? I showed you how to look those up earlier. Come on, refresher, rewatch this, or give us a call. Those are the types of things that drive them crazy and puts a sour taste in your mouth. Come on with innovation, show that you've done your homework and research, and that'll go a long way. Trust me. All right, potential next steps. We're in business. Be out there, man, plan ahead, right? So always have those next steps in mind, because sales is a journey and you're ultimately the Sherpa guide. So any assessment tools we can have on hand, or even like a mini white paper of a problem they don't even know is bad. I mean, you could see something that could be addressed that might not be on the municipality's radar. A little white paper to that effect at least starts a conversation. Won't be a purchase order today, but might go into the budget mix for next year. You never know. You don't get what you don't ask for, right? But the key is do something today, right? Because you want to be ready, but you can't wait to be perfect. All right. Jump in that deep end of the pool. The water's fantastic. It's probably a lifeguard off to the side. So, just get in there and do it. Any questions, or any clarifications, missed expectations from today, or any burning issues? Try to keep this short and sweet. But if you have any other questions, feel free to give me a reach, or be happy to give you some more direction, or just watch this over again. Hopefully this has been beneficial to you. Thank you so much for your time and attendance, and happy business.